The shortest distance between two human hearts is always a story. You tell a perfect stranger a good story and you win hearts for life.
I'm helping entrepreneurs. Every video could be different. So I was kind of confused why people were subscribing. And then I looked, and the videos that are the most helpful cause someone to press the like button and subscribe. But you have to be really helpful. So I kind of look at the analytics of a lot of my videos to see how good is the video for someone to subscribe to a channel they might not come back to. That's like giving you an extra thank you.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the Internet Moguls of the World, where we travel around the world, but because of the pandemic, now virtually meeting amazing people who are content creators and who are leveraging the internet to be able to do great things while working from home or remotely and spending more time with their family as a result. Today's guest is Saj Adibs, who is joining us from Chicago. And Saj, welcome to the Internet Moguls of the World show.
Thanks for having me, and I'm excited about it.
I always say the shortest distance between two human hearts is always a story. You tell a perfect stranger a good story and you win hearts for life. I know you're the kind of person who will win hearts. We would love for you to share your story with our audiences before we start.
Sure. You want me to start way back or in my career?
Totally up to you. We'd love to know more about you when you were growing up, all of that, because that allows the audience in the first few minutes to make a bond with the guest.
Sure. Yeah, I had a pretty interesting childhood. My dad was an entrepreneur, so he traveled a lot. So I was actually born in Tokyo in one of the trips that he was taking. And I grew up after that in Iran till I was 13. And then we came to the US, and I've lived here in the Chicago region ever since then. And I went to film school in Chicago, and that was kind of my passion, was storytelling. So I thought if I write stories, the best ways to translate them into something is something visual. So I went to film school because of that. Because English was my second language, so I could never figure out, how to write well, but I could tell a story well using a camera. So film school made sense. This is like 15 years ago now since I've graduated film school. And then I went into film. I made some narrative films. I made a documentary I spent 6 years on.
Wow.
And that had some success in film festivals. But then at some point, it was really difficult. In the narrative world of filmmaking is pretty difficult. It's very time consuming. The days are so long. And I had a family, I had a son, and I decided that I need to figure out a different way to use the same skill set and still tell stories.
Right.
But not in a way where I'm working 12, 14-hour days for like 7 days at a time, which narrative work is, and documentary work is hard to monetize. So I could, after the first film, barely broke even on that using Kickstarter. So I kind of transferred over to a different technique. Did I lose your mic for a second?
Yeah, sorry, there was a disturbance from my end. Yes, over to you.
Oh, got you. I could hear you now. Yeah, so that's when I made the kind of the transition from narrative work into running a video production company, where I still use my documentary skills, but tell stories for businesses. So that company is what I also run to this day. It's called New Slate Films, where we make narrative work and commercial work for companies of all sizes. So I do, just this week I was doing a video for Motorola that was commercial based. Next week we're doing something that's more news oriented and more storytelling. So I switch between that all the time of what kind of content we make as far as that goes. And I like that because it's not a huge time commitment every time you jump on a project. And I like helping businesses of all sizes. I feel like it has some impact if I could tell a good story that connects with an audience. So that's sort of where I'm at. And then I started YouTube about 4 years ago, trying to help people of all kinds using how-to content.
Right.
And the way that came about is I was doing some kind of like housework, like drywall work, just fixing something in my house. And I had such a hard time finding good content, good how-to content. I watched like 20 videos, and microphones were like on the phone far away. I couldn't hear what's going on. So I was like, I feel like I could use the skills I have in video production and do how-to content. And I started with actually doing drywall and like home improvement videos, but I quickly switched into tech and what I know more because I'm not a carpenter. I don't know that much about what I'm doing at the house. So the YouTube channel has now grown pretty well. And it's a search-based YouTube channel, so I didn't really build a community. Like what you're doing here is very specific, so you can build a community. Mine is search-based, so a lot of my content shows up on the front page of Google, the front page of YouTube. So that's kind of how I build it, and it's more passive. So if I don't make a video for 2 weeks, it doesn't hurt, and I don't have to constantly, make this a full-time job because I also still have my video production company. So I kind of split my time between the two.
That's fantastic. So tell us about the name of your channel.
The YouTube channel is called Howfinity, and that it was supposed to be infinite how-to videos. So I blended the word how-to and infinity. I still don't like it to this day because people get it confused. A lot of people call it how to infinity, but it's Howfinity.
So when you started, how many followers did you have and how many subscribers do you have today?
I started with zero because I had no following. I just kind of started from scratch, and I think it took about 2 or 3 months to get to 100 subscribers,
Wow.
and right now it's about 380,000 on this channel.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it took
How
about
does
four
it
years.
feel
It
to
really
have
had a
380,000 people actually wanting to follow? Because today people don't follow, they just watch the content and leave. 380,000
yeah.
human beings. How does it feel?
Yeah, it's pretty nice. The nice thing about it is I was actually surprised every time I got a subscriber because of the vast variety of content I cover, and it's all how-to content. It's not like I'm teaching you how to shoot a nice video, or if I'm helping entrepreneurs. Every video could be different. So I was kind of confused why people were subscribing. And then I looked, and the videos that are the most helpful cause someone to press the like button and subscribe. But you have to be really helpful. So I kind of look at the analytics of a lot of my videos to see how good is the video for someone to subscribe to a channel they might not come back to. That's
I
like
know.
giving you an extra thank you.
Wow. So you're saying
Yeah.
you're
So
coming back to the basics. You're saying you add value, but then hang on, add before you leave, add some more because people are looking
yes,
for that some more and make it easy to understand as if you're doing it for yourself. You are looking for a solution, help others find a solution. And if your video can help you find the solution, then that means it's a good video.
that's exactly right. And I feel like that's when I get the most subscriber. That's when I get the most engagement. When the video goes a little bit above and beyond just giving the answer. So, for example, if I'm telling you how to do something and it takes 2 minutes to tell you how to do something I know, I tell you how to do it. I spend a little bit extra to answer frequently asked questions that I came up with in my research, right? So now you know how to do it. But almost everyone at some point has a problem that you're not anticipating in your first draft or your first script. So in my research, I make sure at the end be like, in some cases, this might be an issue. So make sure you do this.
Uh-huh.
And this might not be relatable to everyone. And the one kind of metric that I set for myself to make sure I do this is in the beginning, I decided if my video gets under 95% thumbs up to thumbs down ratio, which the YouTube analytics tells you or thumbs up to thumbs down, that I'm doing something wrong and I should either put a comment asking for people to tell me what wasn't resolved in that situation so I could update the video with better information. And sometimes I've made maybe close to 50 videos again
Wow.
because it didn't get to the point that I wanted. So right now the channel has about 1,100 videos, and the thumbs up to thumbs down ratio of the entire channel is at 95.5%, which that's the number I care about because I feel like if I could help 95 out of 100 people, it's I'm doing pretty good. I didn't want to put it like a 99%. If somebody's upset, I have to fix it. So it was a realistic number after making a bunch of videos to kind of at least put that as a metric for myself to try to hit.
That's fantastic. I love that. But so you talk about the basics of good business, provide extra value, and then at the end, when you think the video is becoming too general, give a few points which could be for a specific audience. So I love
Yes.
that part. But at the same time, you're saying you don't follow the norm. You're not posting consistently. You're not following a micro niche. Some of the people, so you're busting all the myths of starting and growing a YouTube channel. Follow a micro niche, only focus on one niche, post regularly every week, 2 videos a week, 3 videos a week. You're like, I post whenever I want to. I So what is your strategy, and how is it, how does it still continue to evolve and become different and still make money, still make
I should
subscribers?
say, I guess the consistently I try to keep up with. But as far as because of the type of content I make, I could batch record. So there's a lot of times for 2 weeks I don't record anything, but I still consistently upload. So I always recommend people that consistently upload videos on a whatever schedule they set for themselves. I have like another channel with 20,000 subscribers called App of the Day, and I only post once a week, but I try to never miss that once a week. So I do keep up with that. But as far as the micro niche, honestly, it's sort of how you want to style your or set up your business. So if you set up a micro niche or even a niche that's more specific, like let's say you make videos specifically for marketing for entrepreneurs, the benefit of that compared to what I have going on is you could build a community and you can monetize a community, and a community does convert better to a customer. So if you have a
So
business, I always recommend to stick with that.
got it.
But if you don't and you're not really worried about that, then general, like sticking with a topic like how to in the world of tech, what I'm doing, right? Much broader makes a much better passive income.
Hmm.
Because I pretty much could figure out how much I'm going to make month to month because it's kind of like a curve that slowly goes up compared to YouTubers that have to make videos for their community. They have to hit every time they upload. And it's a lot of pressure. I feel like because mine is search based passive, I'm not always freaking out if a video doesn't perform in a month or two. Because I know down the road, if it's a good video, YouTube's going to pick it up eventually. So it's kind of two different trends. You could either build a community or you could treat YouTube as a search-based platform, which is what it is.
So you're
And
saying that, are you
yeah,
saying that if I have a business, my YouTube channel can supplement my business, and
I
I have a
yes.
community,
So
and the
what
questions that my community is looking for, I will answer only those questions over there.
I
Versus,
think,
yeah,
yes, I think if you're doing it from scratch, what I'm doing is much more difficult because it takes a long time for you to hit the profitable mark, right? Because you have to tell YouTube. I mean, it took me, just to tell you, the first 13 months on YouTube, I made $1,000 and I
wow,
got to 1,000 subscribers. It took me 13 months to do that, but then it's kind of like a curve that just is like flat and then it takes off.
right.
And I also had help from the pandemic because a lot of my videos, Google Drive tutorials, Zoom tutorials, things like that really took off, right? So a lot of people might not, hit that kind of thing where just things take off on their channel. So if you're a business owner, 100% you should target your videos towards who your customer is, and then you could far better monetize it than relying on Google AdSense or YouTube AdSense, because I rely heavily on that, but I'm getting 3-4 million views a month sometimes, right? The channel's
Wow,
almost at 100 million views. But you don't need to be. I've seen people make more money than me using their YouTube channel, getting like 200,000 views a month, not 4
hmm,
million,
okay,
because you're not relying, because you can monetize, I think, 10 times better if you're more specific outside of what Google pays you.
wow. So you're saying monetize in terms of people will send you a query, they'll want to work with you, and you can sell your products and services. That kind of monetization.
Yes, I think that should be what you add to your channel. So let's say you're very specifically, your agency runs Facebook ads for clients, right? Which through our video production company, we kind of bundle it, right? So we'll do the video and we'll try to do some marketing because a lot of businesses, especially smaller size, don't know. They make a video, they put it on YouTube, it gets 5 views, And at one point, I was like, wait a minute, this is almost like not fair to the business because they don't know how video works. So I know how video works. So let me help them actually turn this into a mark. I didn't want to be a marketing agency. I wanted to be a video
Sure.
production agency, but
Right.
people are not utilizing video correctly after they make it. So they spend, I mean, I've made videos for $10,000 that got like 15 views.
Huh.
And then they're like, oh, maybe we'll put it on Instagram. Maybe it'll do better. No, it won't. It was designed to be a YouTube video or for your website. So I started helping businesses with that. So what I've been telling businesses is, let's say your agency runs Facebook ads. What you should do, from experience of hearing your customers' kind of pain points, let's say they don't know how to run Facebook ads or they're doing their targeting incorrect, you make specific tutorial based and suggested based things that have the potential to get suggested. You make a combination of that content. That stuff gets found. Either Google suggests it to the right people, YouTube suggests it, it gets found in search. And then I usually then, after a channel starts picking up, I have a call to action. Hey, if you don't want to do this yourself, we do have an agent. At the end of the video, you say something like that. And this is what I tell all my clients for the video production company work. If they're utilizing YouTube, and I feel like I put myself in a unique position where I know how video production works, and
Yeah.
brands. I mean, sometimes brands spend hundreds of thousands on a commercial that we worked on, but they know what to do with it. The
Right.
smaller businesses spending under 10 grand almost never know what to do after.
Right.
So that's what I tell them. If you have the time and the resources to build a YouTube channel and stay consistent with uploading and answer the potential questions your specific customers have, it's a gold mine. Honestly, as I just looked at, there's 37 million YouTube channels, right?
Mhm.
But if you niche down, the competition is actually not crazy at all. Like if you really niche down, you'll like find like 7 other people that have a channel that's successful
That's
in
successful.
whatever you're doing. But if you
Lovely.
look at the big picture, you're like, well, what am I doing? There's 37 million channels. Why would I ever do that?
Got
You
it.
know?
Got it. Saj, I'm moving gears. Tell us about if you can just run our audience through your start to finish uh, workflow. Like, do you go to the gym, pump yourself up, have a cold water shower, and say, I'm going to be in that mood to create? How do you get into that mood to create? When you do, what do you do? Do you come into your studio? Do you put on your webcam or do you put on your DSLR? Do you have a light on your face? Do you have a mic with you? Do you have multiple mics with you? Do you already have it scripted or you say whatever you feel like saying? Do you use a tool like TubeBuddy? If you can just run us through your workflow, that'll be awesome.
Absolutely. So the way I start I'll just focus on this YouTube channel, for example,
Sure.
because I think it makes the most sense with the workflow. But I've done keyword research well ahead of time. Like I usually dedicate 1 day a month to figure out every video I'm gonna make. And I'm just focusing on this channel, but we have 7 channels, and I have 4 other content creators on one of the other channels. Now they're
Wow.
much smaller. Like I just last year started to take that up and hire other content creators. But the way we do it, we have a master list on this program called Microsoft To Do. It's like a to do list app. So then there's a checklist we create, and we use TubeBuddy uh, to figure out keyword research. So I use this thing called, I think it's called SEO Studio in TubeBuddy. So I
Okay.
use that to do keyword research based on how to in the world of tech, right? And whatever your niche is, like, again, you should do your thing. You shouldn't do what someone else does. And that's the thing. I kept going down I'm like, oh, these people are doing that, I should do that. Early on I kept like changing, and I'm like, no, just stick with the thing that helps. So then we have this master list. I think right now there's like 900 video titles on it. So we always add to that. So that's the first step, is having a title topic. Then the second step is we outline or script. Like my new content creators that are helping me, I ask them to fully script because I want to review, because I want to make sure they're hitting the right points, the information is correct. So I review that personally. For my stuff, I outline. So I put like bullet point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when I'm recording the video later, I know not to miss anything, right? So I would spend 15 minutes probably outlining a video I know something about, or sometimes up to an hour if it's a complex thing. Like if I'm teaching you how to use Adobe Premiere Pro to edit your videos, That's an hour of time for me to organize my structure into like 20 points. But that's like a
Right.
half-hour video. Um, and then at that point, I have my title, I have my script. The third thing I do is I come and sit here, and I have three studios like this. So different channels kind of have a different look. Only because people get upset if you have a plaque and you don't have 100,000 subscriber on that one channel. They're like, "What? That's a fake plaque." But this is for the Halfinity channel. So then I set this up. I mean, I actually have it connected here. I'll show you. This is like my second angle. So if
Oh,
I'm doing
nice.
like phone,
Are you using the
photo,
8M Mini?
I am, yeah. So, I would do like, if I'm doing something on the phone, I would do it like this, right? If I cut to my camera, if I do a screen thing, I cut to this shot.
How
And
do you
then
get
this
to the
is this is
screen?
my main. What's that?
Did you have a camera pointing at the screen?
No, this is actually just HDMI output from the camera into my
Okay.
recorder.
Hmm.
And let me see if I could actually show you around here. Might be helpful.
That would be awesome.
I don't know if this thing is. Give me 1 second. This will be a good shot. But I have my HDMI all wrangled up. There we go. All right, so this is the camera that was just overhead,
Uh-huh.
and this is called the A7S3. And this
I
one I
like
just bought for YouTube because it just has really fast autofocus with the lens on with this lens. This is 24 to 105, and then I'll show you the set here. It's gonna be kind of weird, but so that's the
wow.
switcher,
8M Mini, I like that. And
and
now
then it
you have
goes to
all
this.
you have
So
all
this is
the alrighty.
yeah, and then you're on a teleprompter, so that's how I could look at the camera. And then the lighting, I have this light. This is the microphone. This is called a
Nice.
Sennheiser 416. This thing is where the camera was hanging off of.
Hmm.
Then I have a sound blanket in front of me, so it's because it's just this is a bedroom in my house.
Right.
This is another light. That's the documentary that I told you about that I spent 6 years on.
Nice. It's called Love.
And then these are just the stuff I have just for better sound control.
Right. So, I
And
see that you have sound panels and in between there is
yeah,
spacing. If you remove the spacing and you make it all sound panel, does it become better?
yeah, it's far better.
Okay.
I'm turning my basement right now into a full studio that I soundproofed. So I did like more drywall and all kinds of stuff. So I'm actually moving this down there because no matter what I did with this room, it's not the best sound. Even because I'm using this mic, it's just a little bit echoey and I can't do anything about
I'm
it.
I'm in the process of building mine here as well. See that?
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so I'm just building mine as I'm last 1 week I started this work. So it's got three, four sets, one black background over there, one with a
Oh, that
wooden
looks
thing.
great.
Yeah, that lights come on over there, so that becomes a DJ console. And then I've got these uh, NAN lights over there. So those four lights come on
Oh,
and
those
then
are awesome. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah. And then I've got those the rollers, so there'll be three papers coming down, so I have different. So yeah, I'm learning from experts like yourself and trying to make my studio better.
I'm doing the exact same thing with the rollers because it's really helpful. And I actually just set this up. Let me see if I could show you. So the with this panel, I could switch between mic inputs.
Nice.
So right now I'm using input one, which is the this overhead mic I keep turning away from. But sometimes when I do my screen recording, I use this one, and then I look that way. So then I'll mute it on the sound panel, and then I'm on this mic.
Uh-huh.
So that mic sounds better, but I just from being in video production, I don't like a mic in the shot.
I know what you're saying.
So that's why I have this thing. But the problem with this is it will pick up echo. So I had to put a rug down. I had to like carpet downstairs. I had to put the sound blanket, and it still doesn't sound great, even though this mic is $1,000. It's
Wow.
just it's never gonna sound as good as those mics. But those mics you have to be 6 inches, and I just don't like how it looks unless I'm doing a
Right.
podcast.
Lovely. Awesome. So I like the setup. I like the whole rig that you've created. So tell us, so what would be your message to content creators? You know, that what you said something very powerful. 1 year or to get 100 subscribers. Was that right?
Uh, no, it was 3 months to 100, a year to 1,000.
Year to 1,000. 1,000 people are like, it's only 1,000. How do you keep motivating yourself? Number one. Number two, I tell people you don't need a million followers. You just need a few thousand, maybe with in a strong micro niche, and that's a good business. So how do you motivate people to say that less is it's okay if you have dedicated followers and keep on going? How do I mean that 1 year, 90% people fall off the bandwagon.
Well, that's why I think it's good that you could easily not. I shouldn't say this, but you can stand on YouTube only because of that.
But yeah,
Because if it took a month and
everybody
there's
would
37 million, yeah, you're going nowhere.
you're going nowhere.
But the benefit of YouTube, and honestly, I think if I was younger, I would have gave up far easier, you know.
Right.
But because I was in business, I've been in business since 2007, and I knew each stage took me so long to get to a certain point. If it was
Sure.
a revenue goal or if it was like how many clients I have goal, every time it took so long, like 4 or 5 years, just to go from 50,000 to a quarter million, it took like 5 years. So I knew things took forever. So if I didn't know that, YouTube would have frustrated me. Like 3 months in, I would have been like, what is this? But now I'm kind of at a point where I understand how long things take. And honestly, the reason why I didn't get discouraged is because other YouTube creators I was watching and learning from kept saying what I'm saying right now. They're like, look, you could know everything there is to know, but unless you get lucky or you're extremely talented or you're super beautiful or handsome or some weird thing that you do that nobody else has ever done, which is not going to happen, it's going to take a year to get to 1,000 subscribers. But then year two, you could get 20,000 subscribers in year two. And then in year three, you could be at 100,000. Just in 2020, I got 220,000 subscribers in
Oh
1 year.
wow. Oh,
When
the
it took,
pandemic. Wow.
yeah. So if you're willing to kind of convince yourself of that, it's honestly the hardest thing. Because imagine you go to the gym every day for a year and you lose 0 pounds and nothing happens. Why would you go again? That's insane. Not even a year, like a month,
Right. Even a
right?
month.
But this is just designed differently. And it's so funny. I was doing content on TikTok. And this is another thing I wanted to mention with video because I think it's such an underutilized thing. But I started posting a TikTok video maybe 3 weeks ago, like an actual video. All I was doing was to get to 1,000 followers because I was doing a how-to video on how to go live on TikTok that recorded 1,000 followers. That's all. That's all I was trying to do. Well, that video went viral 3 weeks ago,
Wow.
and now I have 90,000 followers on TikTok only in 3 weeks.
My God.
It's impossible on YouTube. Like, so I've uploaded maybe 12 videos on TikTok this month, and maybe five of them got over a million views. And this is the power of it for business owners that I was going to mention. In one of the videos, I mentioned Howfinity.com, which is just like a partner to this YouTube channel that's just, I think, better organized. And I mentioned Howfinity.com / like a specific URL verbally, nowhere to click. So you had to physically go type it out.
Yeah.
This is insane. 71,000 people did that from TikTok. 71,000 people typed in a random URL to go to a thing from a guy they don't know. I mean, it could have been like spam. And it took him to the thing from the video. Now, it was one of those like tech videos that, could go viral. So it didn't help my business whatsoever. It did get me YouTube subscribers, it got me Instagram followers, and it got me TikTok followers, but I didn't correctly because I didn't know that it's possible to
Of course.
take people off TikTok. It's insanely difficult to get people off YouTube to
Right.
go to somewhere that you're talking about. You're never going to get 71,000 people in a day to do what you want on YouTube outside of YouTube. But that blew my mind right now. Honestly, I'm like super hyper focused right now to figure out how to utilize TikTok correctly for businesses so I could help other businesses with this because I've never seen in 13 years of doing video, I've never seen an opportunity that could just explode your business like that. I mean, imagine 71,000
Amazing.
specific leads. Like if it was a lead for something, how
Amazing.
much is that on ads? More than 71,000.
At least. At least.
Yeah. So that's just like blew my mind. I'm like, what am I doing to change everything?
Awesome. I've got two more questions for you. Um, is there a specific duration to a YouTube video, or if the content is good, keep going?
So I've like really looked at this with YouTube analytics to figure out what the kind of the time is. It's so funny when internet videos came about and brands were paying us to do videos for them. They're always like, people don't have the attention span. Everything's 3 to 5 minutes, and for like years, everybody say 3 to 5 minutes, and it was based on nothing. Honestly, people were just like 3 to 5 minutes. But when I looked at analytics, it's 100% dependent on the content. I have content that's 24 minutes that I looked at analytics on, and the retention of it is like 48% because it's specific to a group of people that really care, so they're watching. And I have content that's a minute, and the retention time on it is like 10 seconds, right? Because it's just targeting the wrong people. So I personally try to hit the 5 to 8 minute mark. A lot of times I try to hit the 8 to 10 minute mark to be able to add multiple ads to a video because that saves me just time. Like imagine a video that could have 3 ads is as good as like 3 videos that could only have one.
Got it.
Now this is if your focus is Google AdWords or YouTube paying you, So I try to hit the 8 minute mark if I'm trying. But honestly, if I only do it if it's like 7 minutes and 50 seconds, I'll have like an extra question I answer at the end to get there. But
Right.
if it's like 7 minutes, I don't just fluff for like another minute to get to that point.
Got
But
it.
I've honestly learned depends on the topic. So there's no like perfect time that I could tell everybody, hey, make your videos. I've seen a guy that teaches people actually how to make courses, and every video he makes is like 30 minutes. But because I make courses, I watch like 30 minutes every
Of
time
course.
because it's targeted towards me.
Of course.
And he gets far less views, but I bet he makes a lot more money than me because it's so specific and he could sell his course on the back of it. Because every single video is basically a business card he's leaving on YouTube, and people are picking it up. 3,000 people pick up your business, and you're talking directly to them. It's far better than me getting 3 million views on a Zoom video.
Nice. Awesome. So my last question is for people who are sitting at home, they want to spend more time with their families. They want to become, because our definition of an internet mogul is somebody who leverages the internet to save time and then pour that time back into life, family, everything that they
Yep.
want. So an average North American income, say about $4,000. How much time, if a father or a mother is watching this, how much time do they need to be able to set up something on YouTube, doing what they love, teaching people what they have experience on, and be able to replace that average income, American income online?
So I guess it sort of depends how much time they're willing to put in to learn what's required to learn. Because it's not, you can't just day one know enough to do it.
Sure.
But I believe if you could put aside 5 hours a week in the course of 2 years, you could get to a point where you could make 4,000 a month online.
Nice.
But I think in that 4 or 5 hours, it's got to be very targeted. So I'm very obsessed with targeted time. So I actually keep track. It's like a very obsessive thing. But for the last 3 years, I've kept a what do you call it? A timer of everything I do all day
Wow.
long. Yeah, it's like an automated app. So I just have to switch tasks. But I went back to see how much time is YouTube taking? Because at one point I was honestly working like 3,500 hours a year, and I felt so exhausted that I was like, wait, I have to work 2,000 hours a year. This is like not gonna work. So I started tracking my time to see what I could take out of the equation, and that's when I started hiring more and more people. Um, but I think if there was a formula to it, is you have to decide where you want to make the money because there's multiple avenues online. But to me, the easiest one is to building a YouTube channel. On the back of that, have a very specific either service or a course or something that you could sell, right? That's just a very clear
Sure.
business model. Here's one product, and your channel to that product is YouTube. And then I have this. I'm actually putting a YouTube course together to teach it specifically this because I think honestly it's so underutilized correctly. All you have to do, I have this three-pillar strategy for content. Make how-to content that's searchable. Make suggested content that has potential for being suggested by YouTube and has potential for virality. And then the third is make content specific for your subscribers as
Right.
you get more subscribers. You do those three things for a year or two, and then you build a community that's around that specific thing. You put whatever you want. It could be a product, it could be a course, it could be your service if you don't mind working, but if you want more passive, it should be something that doesn't require your time. And I think 100% with a combination of just understanding those different things, though. You do have to understand how YouTube works. You have to understand how thumbnails work. You have to either hire some guy that knows Photoshop or you learn it
Sure.
yourself. And once you learn all that, I have a channel. The one I told you, App of the Day, makes about that much. And I spend no more than 1 hour a week.
App of the day is less than 40,000 subscribers and it makes
It's
4,000.
20, yeah, it has 22,000. Yeah, it makes that much. And that's between AdSense and affiliate marketing, just two sources. I
Wow.
really don't do sponsored videos on that channel. I do sponsored videos on Affinity, and that does really well. That could be its own thing if that's. I'm just trying to build something bigger.
Sure.
But if I was just trying to make it where I could live off the passive income, I could have done that. I could have stopped a couple of years ago. But mine's not perfectly set up to be forever evergreen. So eventually, because it's tech, I have a video actually how to get rid of ants. Super evergreen.
Wow.
That's probably going to make money in like 10 years from now. But I was making it has like 200,000 views. So I've heard a lot of ants. Not meaning to do that, but
Awesome. Sab, this was unbelievable. Very clear, very crisp how to interview. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you enjoyed this 36 minutes and 31 seconds that we spent with an expert, drilling down from him, getting the information that he has spent years to get for himself. You know what to do. At the end of every episode, we ask all of you the three best takeaways from this episode. Make an Instagram post, post it on your channel, tag Ask Avi Arya, and one winner gets a book on entrepreneurship couriered to their home every Sunday afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, this was an expert. Saj, thank you very much for your time. What's that one message that you'd like to give our audience before you leave?
honestly, I think if you have the opportunity and you could set aside 5-6 hours a week to try to build a side hustle, especially if you have a job, there has never been a better time. I mean, I've been in video for so long and I've never seen an opportunity like this. I mean, I hate to be one of those guys that says you could make money online because it just sounds like a fake thing. And 4 years ago when I started YouTube, I thought, no, everything is service only. But it's not. You could build so many different businesses on specific things online using YouTube, TikTok, your website, affiliate marketing, so many avenues. So I really think if you want financial freedom to a point where your job is not everything to you, there is no better time to set aside a little bit of time each week and start growing it that way.
That is fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on behalf of all of us in the Internet Moguls community, we want to say big thank you to Saj. Thank you, Saj. Look forward to seeing you
Thank
soon.
you. Thank you. Take care. Hey, this is Saj from Halfinity. Watch me on Internet Moguls of the World talking to Avi Arya about how to use video to grow any business.